Hello, and this is a phone call. My name is. You know what? I'm not going to tell you what my name is. You should know it by now.
What
Unless
if
you're a
this is
new
the
listener.
the
If you're a new
first
listener, then you
episode
don't.
that they're
Maybe you
listening
don't know
to?
it. And so, for that reason, I will tell you. My name is Vinny Degatano, and with me is.
Aaron Frank.
And Aaron and I are friends.
Well,
But sometimes we've been enemies.
good segue,
Not-
Vince.
Yeah. The topic tonight is enemies.
Hello?
We've definitely been annoyed with each other, but we've never been enemies.
I mean,
We've never. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was just thinking, like, enemies is. I mean, it's a strong. Can you think? Who's the last person you talked to that was like, oh, that person's my enemy? Because I was thinking about this tonight when we decided on it, and I was like, I don't have any enemies that I know of. Maybe people are my enemy, or people have me as an enemy, but I don't. I would hope not. Do you have any enemies?
The definition: a person who is actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. So, I don't know if
Actively opposed. I'm opposed to you.
or hostile. I don't know if I have anyone who is actively opposing me or hostile to me. But here's a now let's play with the definition a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you're gossiping about somebody. Is that being hostile or opposing? If you're trying to if you're talking smack, do you then fall under the enemy category? Because that would seem like a strong.
I think that's a little. Everybody talks a little behind people's backs. Everybody says a little something, something. Hey, don't tell them I said this, but blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Veil of secrecy.
Right.
But enemies is enemies is like out of a book or a movie, just the arts. It's like just so over. It feels like overdone, doesn't it? Like, you're my enemy. I have a burning hatred that spans millennia for you.
I was just listening to the Drake song Energy, and in that song, Drake says, I got enemies. I got a lot of enemies. So, maybe, Aaron, you and I aren't important enough to have enemies.
Maybe we're not in the right business.
No, I think we're in a great business for it. You kidding me? In the entertainment industry, there's all kinds of jealousy and all kinds of ego. And that could be in any industry, but I think it's especially kind of attributed to people trying to make it in Follywood. But I think that once you've reached certain heights, then you're a prime target. You got people who maybe feel like, oh, they forgot about me or they used me, and now
I was gonna say, because you get to certain points, then it's like some people who get to certain heights do it by stepping on others, and that creates enemies.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everybody, but for a lot of people who are successful, especially in the arts, you might make enemies just because of how you treat the others to get there.
Not Danny DeVito, not Dolly Parton,
Not any of the beloved
not
celebrities.
Brendan Fraser.
Keanu Reeves. There's like
the woman who does Bart Simpson's voice. I would imagine she doesn't have, but apparently as we've from talking to Cooper, the VO world, it's really competitive. Cutthroat,
and that takes on a whole new meaning when you do VO, because you need that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna snip your vocal cords, bro. You'll never work in this industry again. You'll never talk.
I bet at least one time some VO person got their tongue cut out in sort of a poetic punishment style payback time crime of the century.
Or like a singer Oh, that'd be so brutal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the one
Yeah.
thing I had.
You know,
Cut,
that
cut,
reminds
cut.
me of it's like a fate worse than death. I've been thinking about that a lot because I was listening to. That sounds like that's weird to say. I've been thinking about that a lot. A fate worse than death. You know, I've been thinking about that a lot. Well, I only say that because in like storytelling and whatnot, that is like how do you come up with stakes? And okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to keep these thoughts contained because I'm already feel like I'm going all over the place. So in watching The Last of Us, Craig
Spoilers?
Mazin at the no. At the end of the first episode, Craig Mazin, because they always do like, they
Yeah,
HBO has their little wrap up thing. He's an amazing writer. He talks about in writing characters and writing story, what is a fate worse than death? And which is great because then you think about Marvel movies, and it's always like it's gonna be the end of everything. Where was I? I was watching a movie and it was the previews for Quantum Mania.
Mm-hmm.
And it was straight up. There was a line where they pretty much were like, "It's gonna be the end of everything we know," and it's like, it's always that though, right? The Marvel's taking it.
Can we talk about that really quick though? Because I've reached that point with Marvel movies, but it's not like it's different from the comics. Like the comics have spanned decades, and that's always been like end all be all. Like that's the thing, It was like, oh, the destruction of the planet or the universe or so. I know that's not everything, but acting like that's a new like end it like all stakes like everything's over for just the movies. No, it's been like that from the comics, Like that's just how superhero things work, is that you have like an all-powerful entity that's going to boom, blow everything up.
You're right. I'm way out of line.
No. But I think that we're on the same page that like, yeah, it's getting tired, but also I have to remind myself that it's nothing new and it's probably not going to go anywhere. There'll be decades more movies that also play with a similar thing.
Can I take another really quick brief moment to sidetrack, and we'll get right back in what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Little housekeeping from last episode. We had made a joke about me being a soap opera star and writing an episode with an incest storyline, and I was like, "Oh, it'll be the first one." Who am I? Like, of course, it would be the first. We were way off. It's not the first one.
Did you look it up?
I did. Yeah, I did. Well, dude, even on the first.
Wait, how many were there?
Well, I remember I didn't look up how many there were, but there was one where they didn't know they were siblings. I guess ours was different because the two were aware they were siblings, like it was. But I think in soap opera, it's always like they find out later.
How naive
but anyway,
of us, though, to
have said. Yeah. I just wanted to clear that up, so anyone thought that we were sitting here thinking like we were so original, like. I'm checking us right now, okay?
Good.
I know we got a lot of enemies out there who are trying to bring the pod down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anyway.
Pod to blow up.
Talking about Marvel movies, but before that I was Fate Worse Than Death, and we got there because of I don't remember.
Last of Us.
Enemies. Because your enemy might want to.
Oh wait, you didn't have anything else?
No, I was just
derail you, and then you were talking about Craig Mazin and what's a fate worse than death.
Yeah, I forget how I even got on that.
Thinking about that lately.
Yeah, but you said something that made me think of the fact that I had been thinking of that, and now I don't remember what the seed of that was. So.
Oh well. Well, what I was saying before was that it feels like it's in movies and TV because it's so extra, like having an enemy.
Yeah.
But enemies, like a strong, like having enemies or being enemies with somebody, it's just so like it's palpable and it makes for a really good story. And I think that's why they're the best in TV and in movies and stuff. I was watching some clips today. Have you seen Sicario?
Yeah, that's the one. Wasn't there a sequel from that where Sicario is the one where like they're dealing with like drug cartels and stuff.
Yeah, and at the end, Benicio del Toro's character, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, but there's just a really great scene where he takes revenge on this guy who killed his family.
I
And he like, you
yeah.
remember that? And
I
like
don't.
that's
I don't remember what he does, but I remember it being like pretty gruesome.
well, that scene in particular is not gruesome, and actually they edited it really slick, and like it doesn't really show any of the violence. But he goes to this guy's house and interrupts their dinner, sits down. He's like fully like decked out, and he's got his silence gun, and then he takes out the whole family. But he's telling the guy, he realizes he's there. He's like, oh, because your wife, and he's like, don't forget about my little girl. And then that's why, and then the wife realizes like, I'm done. Oh, he's gonna kill us all. And then he's got a really freaking great line. He says, time to meet God. And then he kills his wife and 2 boys while he's sitting there.
Yeah.
And then the guy's just like shocked. He's just staring. And then he says, finish your meal. And then just kills him. And it's a really powerful scene. But also because like the stakes are so high. Like those guys are like sworn enemies of each other, And it made me think of this pod. It makes for really great story and characters.
Does it make you want to like duct tape a firearm underneath your dinner table, so like just in case that ever might happen to you?
It makes me, what it makes me want to do? It makes me want to feud with somebody so bad that we become enemies. Like, can we try it? Like, I know we're friends.
Oh, do you want us being enemies?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, we've been friends for 8th grade, but we've never tried being enemies.
Do you want to try right now?
I mean, we could try. Like, this could be the jumping off point on the pod.
Yeah. All right. Sure. Well, first off, I want to tell you that you're not a great director. I mean, for someone who doesn't like get out much, that thinks he can like direct emotions and people, and like someone who kind of lives a very like sheltered life, to think you have any business like telling colorful, complex stories about like the human condition when you live a very bland existence. I don't know what you think you're doing, buddy.
I got one thing to say about that to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would it be ironic or telling, should I say, not ironic, telling that the bulk of my work directing involves you? So what's that saying for you, who can't keep a straight face, who can't keep from breaking character, can't remember their lines? You sloppy jalopy.
I can remember my lines.
You'd be lucky
I can remember
if
my
they let
lines.
you PA on a soap opera, let alone be on a soap opera. You no good hack.
Well, let's get to the bottom of why this feud even started. It's because you sapped my potential. It was because you directed me all these years that I'm sitting here looking around going, this is my life now. And I'm doing a podcast with this clown, with this fool.
Well, that's your poor life choices.
No, I placed my trust in you, and you pretended to be my friend, all the while giving me mediocre direction the whole time.
I gave you gold. When we were shooting punching, your character was dumb, and that is what I told you to be. There was no other direction that you needed than to be dumber. Gold. Don't overcomplicate it. But you couldn't even do that.
It was hey, Rumpelstiltskin.
Be yourself.
It was hey, you little goblin man. That you think you spun into gold. I'm gonna take everything from you.
You think so?
I'm gonna take everything you love. I'm gonna move into your house. I'm gonna marry your wife. I'm gonna raise your daughters. Your dad and your mother will adopt me. And you will become nothing. I will make sure that you live that you come to a fate worse than death.
I'm gonna kidnap you. I'm gonna put you in a little box that you can't stand up in or lie down in because it's too narrow and not high enough. I'm going to lock you in a truck. I'm going to drive you across a really bumpy road. I'm going to take you to a 4-star Michelin restaurant and have you sit outside in the rain while I finish an amazing meal. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to rip a fart in the truck so you can smell the leftovers. Then I'm going to take you to the desert and I'm going to dig a big hole and I'm going to act like I'm going to bury you, but then I won't. I'm going to leave you out. I'm going to drive away. I'm going to play mind games. I'm going to come back the next day, say hi, take pictures, post it all over the internet, drive away again, come back, pick you up, apologize profusely, make you become my friend again, and then just when it happens, I'm going to say, it was all a joke. Enemies still. I'll repeat the cycle.
That was a very colorful story.
That's
One
just
that you
the
would,
tip of the
one,
iceberg.
That was a story that you would never even be able to hope to get onto the silver screen.
That's just off the cuff, baby. That's just off the cuff. I wouldn't hope that it could be on the silver screen. If I wanted to, it would be on the silver screen.
You suck at for all first-person shooters anyway, so no one wants to play with you, dude. The guys text me. They're like, fuck, Vin, get a PlayStation already. We got Aaron. He's dragging us down.
They don't say that.
They do. I have the receipts.
I might not be good, but I'm fun to play with because I have colorful commentary and unique perspective on the game.
That's good. That's a good one, man. You'd be good at stand-up comedy. Except you wouldn't be, actually. You know who I want to be enemies with? You know, I was thinking when I was like trying to think of like, I was trying to flesh this topic out. I was like, I was going to ask you, who would you want to be your enemy, or who would you want to be an enemy of? And then I'll have my answer. Or I can just give you my answer now.
If you have one, maybe it'll help me think of mine.
Yeah. I think it would be fun to be enemies with Mr. Beast. Even though
he's got such a huge following, you would just
he's beloved.
You would
he's
just
beloved.
get.
Well, yeah, that's the best part, dude.
Actually, have you? Speaking of Mr. Beast, can we just go off on a little side tangent and talk about?
Sure.
Did you see his recent video? Did you see what's in the news about him?
Yeah, he cured 1,000 people's blindness.
Yeah, and like people didn't like it. Well, I guess a lot of people did, but he got some backlash for it. Backlash nowadays, isn't it funny how like backlash can make articles when it's like?
Did you?
Maybe just
did you read the backlash though? Do you know the substance of the backlash?
I read a little bit, and correct me if I'm wrong. Hassan, whatever his name is, the
Hassan
YouTube.
Abi.
Yeah,
yeah.
Didn't he basically say like, this fills me with rage because it's a problem in America, and like to have like an influencer have to be the one that goes chasing like clout for performing like this that should already be a thing, part of our healthcare system, and because it's not, all these people are suffering, so like that's why he's mad about it.
Well, is he mad at Mr. Beast, or is he mad at the healthcare system?
I don't know. I didn't get that far, and I didn't care enough to read that far into it.
Because it's an interesting like perpetual thing where the reason he has the money to do it is because he films himself doing it. Yeah. Like if he was to do this just like out of the goodness of his heart, like, and not want the attention for it, or because I don't know if maybe people criticize him for that he's like doing it for clout. It's like, okay, well, but everything he does is he gets the views and then he gets the money to do more stuff. So it's just like this.
And that's that's his whole channel too. I mean, he does a lot of things where he does. I mean, he has a whole channel, I think, that's like Beast Philanthropy or something, where he.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree that it's definitely like it sucks that it sucks that it's this is what it takes like this game show style, like, and we've chosen a few lucky winners to be a part of our, I mean, it's just an unfortunate situation all around. I mean, I don't know. Should he be using his money to like lobby instead and change? Like, should he be buying, like, instead of Mr. Beast like buying $1 million home? Should he like buy a few senators?
You wonder, actually, a few million. I wonder what the price tag is to get anything changed. I mean, you're fighting against some probably really, really expensive interests, but. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't read any more than that, but yeah, I would agree with the sentiment behind like being mad that that's what it takes to help people, but also because I think Mr. Beast responded on Twitter and he said, "Oh, everybody says rich people should like give away their money, like stop, like help people in need," and then when he does, people get mad. So. Yeah, I don't think it's warranted. Like the backlash is warranted against him for doing this. I mean, all the people agreed to be on the video, and even some of them
they had no choice,
cars.
Aaron. They didn't have a choice. They were blind. They couldn't even see what they were signing.
Yeah.
But this is why he needs an enemy. He needs someone to take if I make 1,000 people go blind. And then he cures them.
You're like his Glass from Unbreakable. From Night Shyamalan's. You're undoing all of his charitable givings to keep him going, and it's like the secret backdoor handshake you guys have. Joker, Batman. Well, I don't know what I would do without you.
Yeah, exactly. And they would call me like, instead of Mr. Beast, I'd be like,
Mr. Yeast. Because you're like an yeast infection. You just won't go away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm just there. I itch. I burn. Stubborn. Yeah, dude. I'm gonna burn crops. I'm gonna flood farmlands. I'm gonna cause starvation, so that he has to, like, I don't know, feed people. I'm gonna burn children so that he has to. Yeah, I know. I know it's rough to. I don't even feel good saying that out loud, but
the videos of him curing the children of the burns will be like tearjerkers. So I see what you're doing.
I think it'll help him. I think it'll take some of the flack off of him and put it on me, and I'm more than happy to do that.
Dude, you want like 100 million people?
I mean, dude, look at me. I got the face. I think I got the face of like a Malfoy. I think I could play
you have to dye your hair blonde.
I kind of got a Scott Disick.
Can you actually? Do you care enough?
No,
you care way too much.
About what?
Dyeing your hair.
I would dye my hair if it was.
No, you freaking wouldn't.
Yes, I would if I'm getting a check for it, dude. If I'm getting paid, absolutely, I would.
Exactly. I knew it was that. I knew.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. If I knew that, like,
you want to put a price tag on it?
Well, because here, if I'm gonna get my hair dyed, to get it done well, it's not cheap. So I'm not just. It's not.
You could do it in your bathtub.
Yeah, but it wouldn't look good. Like, if I'm gonna do it, I want it to.
Says who?
It says 1,000 teenage girls who dyed their hair and fucked it up.
Well, okay, well, yeah. If you're concerned about fucking it up, then yeah, there's
also
chances.
Dyeing good, but I think dyeing it blonde is not. Well, did you even say blonde or just dyeing it at all?
Oh, I think I'm just thinking dyeing it at all, but yeah, dyeing it blonde I think would be where you start, or dyeing it really light and then you could dye it any color. I think that's what you do.
I actually have there is an instance in which I would dye it like really frosty blonde.
Go on.
I can't tell you. It would ruin everything. This is down the road too.
What? What is this, like some surprise or something?
No. It's just like it's something. It's a thing Game Goth and I have worked out.
Oh boy. Sworn to secrecy.
I shouldn't be saying this stuff, but just because you brought it up, Anyway. Yeah. So
Mr. Beast.
That's who I would like to have a
who
enemy ship
think
with.
Would be want you as an enemy.
Would want me as an enemy?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what would you gain from having me as an enemy? If you made me so upset that I would talk about you on my podcast, then therefore giving you attention. See, I can only think about it in a way where it's someone just using, it'd be someone using me to get me to talk about them so that it's all, dude, it's all for clout. That
I'm not sure they would receive much clout from
that magical
from phone calls.
Hey, yeah, no, you're right. They wouldn't.
Hey.
Well, okay. So outside that, like, who would want to have me as an enemy? Shit. I mean, it'd be cool if like a sports star, maybe. I don't know.
Like, somebody just like really high up that picks on you. That would be really. It reminds me of Conan O'Brien. For a while, he might not do this anymore, but on his Twitter or Instagram or something, he follows like one person. It'd be like the opposite of that. It'd be like imagine The Rock or like Tom Brady or something. Like they just one day are just like, you know what? I fucking hate Vinny DeGaetano. And you're like, I've never even met this dude. And they're just like, this guy, I want to duel him. I want to kick his ass.
It would definitely be exciting.
What would you do if you woke up to a news story like that, or like people texting and being like, dude, what did you do to Tom Brady? He fucking hates you. He said he wants to kick your ass.
Isn't Tom Brady the one that takes those like weird pictures with his son? What, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Is it him?
He took some. I saw that he posted some pictures of him and his son, but I didn't think they were weird.
Football star and son. It was like, I don't know. Everyone was being all weird about it.
Yeah. What else? What else is new?
I guess if I if I find out where his son goes to school and I become like a substitute teacher there, and then like I do something to influence his son poorly, you know,
purposefully tank his grades.
Yeah, or like get him into Satanism or something, or like talk about like just like tell him Santa's not real, because he's still like a little kid.
Well, you're talking like this is after Tom calls you out. I'm still in the world where,
no, I'm still thinking of why. You said, because you were like, what did you do? And I'm trying to think, like, that's what I would have done. It's
funnier to me though that like there is no why. I don't know, that he just. It's funny to imagine a world in which somebody picks a fight with just some random person that they have no connection to, but they have all the followers in the world to be like.
I'd milk it, because there will be a divide will naturally occur. So I would be like, this is a great opportunity. You know, get all my socials in order, get my merch ready, get my dropship business ready. You know, with my like whatever, like Tom Brady, more like Tom Brady, more like oh god damn it, why can't I think of something? This is why I suck, because I can't think of something funny right now. Tom Brady, more like Ron. Fuck, dude. Tom Brady sucks. Just like a Tom Brady sucks shirt.
Nice, dude. Nice.
I know. Well, I could say something like gross and like shocking, but that's too easy, you know. Like, I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to think of a clever pun here.
Well,
but I don't know anything about like football or like his stats or like his. I don't know much about him to really make a really good personal dig. The best type of enemyship is when it's like they need each other, you know?
Mm-hmm.
God, devil, Joker, Batman, and of course these are all like fictional. But like, because I think about Drake and whoever his enemies are, like we don't know who they are, and I don't think they're not opposing forces in a way where like they animate each other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not interesting to me. You know, what interests me is enemies that are, they almost in a way they need each other. And I'm trying to think of real life examples, and I'm too dense to think of any.
But don't you think it's interesting, like if Drake like walks into the club and his enemy is there, and they're just like kind of like tension is about to boil over, you know, they're just like staring at each other across the room.
Well, you know, you could say Drake needs his enemies because he gets to write songs about it.
Yeah, it's not all
Think
he
if
writes
those
songs about, but yeah.
I know, but you know, but that was a popular song, and so he should be thanking his enemies for giving him material to work with.
Well, also not calling him a liar, but who's gonna call him out? You know.
Right? Yeah, he might just be making this up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Name them. Name them.
Yeah.
You got enemies?
No,
yeah,
the enemies might have just been like self-doubt and stuff like that.
That's true.
He might have just been talking about. Yeah. Maybe he's just talking about like writer's block and stuff.
Yeah. I got enemies.
They stop at my creativity.
There's gout in my knee.
Yeah. Maybe he had like a physical condition, like bunions and stuff.
Yeah, we're thinking too literally.
And Drake's an artist, dude. He writes poems essentially. He writes in metaphor.
He's a poet.
These enemies didn't necessarily need to be in human form.
Don't you think that when you imagine, like I imagine if I had an enemy in real life, I'd want to have like showdowns, and like if you're in like the city and you just like see them across the street, then it just everything like almost like everybody turns to you. It's like a video game, you know, like final boss style. Just it gets like that kind of like real epic, hyper stylized like feud.
What kind of showdowns we talking here?
I don't know, just like some like I keep imagining it with huge swords.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
I don't know why. I just think that'd be like the most fun is to have that kind of enemy where it's like you see him, you spot him in public, and it's like we have to until death. We have to right now. Like that's how passionate the feud is.
And you're saying you really want this?
I'm just saying if I'm imagining a fictionalized world in which it'd be interesting to live in.
Yeah.
It'd be like that where everything is just over the top.
Is it a cyberpunk world, Aaron? Is there neon in? Go on, tell me. Is there neon in these images?
There's a version. There's a version, but there's also a steampunk version.
Midjourney generated an image of Aaron facing off against his enemy in a quasi cyberpunk city. There's a crowd of people, and priests of the higher order are there watching. ChatGPT, write me their dialogue before, during, and after the fight between two lifelong enemies who will settle this score now.
Generate.
What if you were enemies? What if you were an enemy of the state? I kind of, because you fantasize about. No. Oh, well, yeah, that was the movie, right?
Yeah.
Because you fantasize about having like a, you fantasize all the time about having a sword duel. It's something you're constantly.
I wouldn't
talking
say
about.
I have constant fantasies about it.
Yeah, you're constantly bringing it up. Every time we talk, you bring it up. You're like, dude, I was sharpening my sword, and it was.
If we lived in an alternate reality where it was like a comic book or a movie or something.
Okay, yeah. So in my little fantasy world, I have state secrets. I have Snowden level stuff on a hard drive.
Dude, you got stuff that would make Snowden bluff.
You mean blush?
Yeah. God damn it, I can't talk today.
And now I'm just on the run, dude. And now I'm on the run. I got to drop everything. I got to get in an old car. I got to get a burner phone. And I'm just, you know,
Did you come across these secrets on purpose, or was it accidental?
I think
Because I'm
I was
imagining you as like kind of like a janitor, and you're just cleaning up,
no, it's
and you're just
well,
like, wait, what is this?
but I'm a janitor at a pool hall. And at night I after everyone leaves, I my mop, I take the end of the mop off and the broomstick becomes my pool cue and I shoot pool. Um and then I go to other pool halls and I beat everybody and I'm like super good. And so
Nice.
now I'm outside of the pool hall having a smoke. I'm in the alley. I hear trash cans, the crash of trash cans behind me, and I turn around and there's someone kind of crawling on the ground there, and they got their hand over their stomach, and I can just make out there's blood there, and I like take one more thing and I flick my cigarette, and I run over to them and I'm like, "All right, hey, are you okay? What's going on here?" And they just hand me a hard drive,
No.
a thumb drive, and I take it,
Why?
and they're
Oh, and you
like,
take it?
keep it safe.
No,
they-
dude, the person just ruined your life.
No, that's not what they say. They say uh what do they say? They say like Krypton 94 or something like that.
Whoa.
And I go home and I'm like the thumb drive sitting there on next to all my janitor stuff, you know. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like biting my fingernails and I'm looking at it, you know, tapping my foot, I'm just looking at the hard drive, and then I open up my computer and I plug the hard drive in and it's like password needed. And I'm like, Krypton 94.
Oh my god, it loads all the secrets.
It loads all the secrets of the state that are like, they're so secret that I can't even tell you what they are. I can't even pretend to tell you what they are. Like,
And
even
this
right
guy
now.
was dying and he gave it to you?
He had a bullet. Yeah, someone was trying to kill him. Obviously, he got away.
But he had like he was like had a bullet wound. He was bleeding out?
Yeah, yes.
Oh.
He's dead now. Yeah.
Oh.
And so now I got this, and now, and then all of a sudden, like my computer, something is going on with my computer. Like someone realizes I opened the files. Now I'm being tracked, and then like helicopter flies over, but there's always helicopters flying over. You know,
So
it's
you're
just
like,
it's-
it could be, couldn't be.
so it's
Who knows?
yeah, we're just kind of getting the atmosphere going, right?
Yeah, but
And
you're
then-
you're hardwired in, right? Your internet, they know you've got it.
Well, by this point, yeah, I was too stupid to. So now they've they've geolocated me, and so now I grab the hard drive, and I gotta get out of there. And I have a cat too, which sucks, and so I leave the cat. I knock on the neighbor's door, and it's like this old woman, and I'm like, Shirley, will you? I need you to look after my cat. But I'm throwing this scene in there just to add a little color to the story, you know, just add a little like. You know.
It's working.
Anyway, now I'm in my car, in my El Camino, with all my janitor stuff, sort of like almost blossoming out of the back of the truck. You know, like the broomsticks and the things and the cleaning supplies and the whatever. You know, and I'm taking off down the road, and there's like a really super sleek black car that's following me. Anyway, and then you know where it goes from there. You know, then I'm on the run. I'm not going to tell you.
In fact, you know where I hope it goes?
Where?
You're thinking to yourself, you pull into a motel and you're like, where would they least expect me to go? You change your identity quickly and hastily.
I dye my hair.
You dye your hair and you go get a job at the Pentagon.
Whoa, that'd be cool.
Right
Yeah.
under their nose. And you work
That's
your
smart.
way up. And you kind of are like in that position where you're like overhearing some maybe like passerbys like, oh, we got to find a Krypton 94. And you're just like, oh, and you're like finding the offices. And soon they're like, hey, we like you. You've been around a lot. You've been really loyal. We're going to promote you. And then you get to work on the case and you're looking for yourself.
Yeah. They're like, we need you to find this guy.
And then they're talking about everything that you did and what a danger those secrets pose. And then your personality splits and you start to hate your past self. And then you're conflicted inside. You're like,
yo, this is no,
God.
this is a thing. This is in something.
A movie?
I'm pretty sure what you're describing, I've seen it in like a sci-fi thing where it was like, oh man, this is bugging me now. Where like it was some agents for working for like the government or whatever, they were sent to go like kill somebody, but they were like, they knew who they were, or they were brainwashed, or it was, or did we make that up? Is this something we made up? No, I definitely saw this before.
What, was it in our daily? Are you talking about the road trip daily?
No, it wasn't that. It was, I think, you whatever you said about like now I have a split personality and I hate myself. You saying that triggered some like I'm like that's I've seen that somewhere.
Well, we
Or
kind of did something similar in the road trip daily.
Right. It wasn't that though. Like I have an image in my head of like people fighting in this like I can picture the building they're in. Or maybe that's just the movie we haven't made yet.
There you go. You like know it so well.
Yeah.
Enemy of the State 2, Vince DeGaetano.
The enemy of my enemy is myself.
Well, what's the flip of enemies?
Friends.
What's the opposite? Is it
Friends,
though?
right?
Feels like it's got to be more extreme, and lovers doesn't feel like appropriate.
I think it'd be like a patron. Subscribe to our Patreon. Because if an enemy is someone who's actively hostile and someone who's actively trying to bring you up, someone's trying to.
Then a patron.
That a patron is the opposite of an enemy. So if you don't want to be our enemy and you want to, then please sign up for the Patreon. That was smart the way you did that.
Yeah, totally planned that. That was totally meant to do that.
It was very clever. What's those things called? Sea anemones? Semen anemones?
Sea anemones. Sea anemones?
Sea anemone. Sea anemone. Sea anemone. Sea Mennonite.
I've got it pulled up and I still can't pronounce it. I think it's anemone. Anemone?
Seminole.
Let me hear it. See if I.
Sea anemone.
Yeah, sea anemone.
Cemetery.
I just listened to it.
Sedimentary.
I had pulled up, and I don't know if
lifestyle.
This is good at all. I had a list of like
sedentary.
the best enemies.
Sea anemone.
Monsters in video games. Because, like I said, I mean, video games they craft some of the best enemies that you fight.
See an enemy.
How about the head crabs from Half-Life?
I'm waiting for you to tell me to shut up.
How about Dr. Robotnik from Sonic?
I never understood that one.
I mean,
well, I shouldn't say that.
He wanted to kidnap all the furry creatures, and
that's right. Yeah,
Sonic wanted to.
I shouldn't say I don't understand it. It's just too kooky to even try to. Why make sense of it? It's just silly.
There's probably more, and there's probably more to that backstory, but I don't know it.
Did you see the movie? Did you go see the movie in IMAX?
No, I have not seen.
You didn't go see it in IMAX?
I haven't seen Sonic or Sonic 2.
Wow, dude.
Not yet. Not saying I'm not interested. I just haven't seen it. You know who had a lot of enemies? The CG artists when the first trailer for Sonic came out.
Oh, yeah. People hated it.
Yeah.
What is this?
Not well taken.
What is this?
Super mutants from Fallout. Oh, man. Clickers from The Last of Us. Ugh.
Putties. The putties from Power Rangers.
Oh, putties are great, man.
Is that how they sounded?
I don't remember, but I loved how was it Rita? Like she would make them with like she had like balls of clay and like then
Yeah,
they
yeah.
became it was just putty and
Rita, I want to say her name is Rita Farpisna, like Frau Farbisna from Austin Powers, but Rita, um, no, Rita Repulsa.
Repulsa.
Yeah, Rita Repulsa.
Big Daddy from BioShock.
Oh yeah, those things were scary. It was always fun fighting those.
Lots of good ones. Who's your most memorable like boss like in a video game?
Well, freaking Melania, whatever, from Elden Ring.
Was she like in the story from the beginning? Like did you hear like did they bring her in or did you learn about her only like as you went on?
No, she's like right in the beginning. And I'm not going to pretend like I haven't watched an hour's worth of Elden Ring like lore videos to try to make sense of it because it's incredible though. I've watched a few of these like Elden Ring videos where people are explaining the story, and like once you kind of start fitting everything together, you're like, whoa. That's what I was like. I was like, whoa. And I for 5 minutes, I just kept going, whoa.
And this is after you played 100 hours of it?
George R. Martin's a genius. Yeah, no one's good. You can't figure that out. Just, well, I mean, obviously you can because people did, but not me. I'm just trying to get my DPS up.
How does the game reveal story? Is it cutscenes?
There are cutscenes, but it's not like the story with those games. It's a lot of it is told in like picking up items and reading item descriptions.
Oh, that sounds boring as shit.
Yeah, I know it kind of like, but there's a lot of like context clues just given by like what items look like, who has them, where you find them, what the item description is, and then there's like you go on like there's like quests. I didn't even do a quest because it was too like, well, I did something to kind of I killed an NPC and then like I couldn't. It was being weird and glitchy. I couldn't get through it. Yeah, so Millennium, she was like well, it's it's boring. You don't want to know.
Yeah, I could almost see you working that out in your head as you chose to stop.
Well, because I'm trying. Well, because I don't remember. She was like the daughter.
I like that you went from like when you heard it all put together, you're like, whoa, and then you got to tell it yourself, and you're like, it's boring.
Well, because I don't know. Because I know if I try to explain it, it'll be boring. Because I don't remember all the details.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so other than her, any others come to mind?
King K. Rool. From Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong, yeah.
Yeah. King K. Rool is pretty memorable for me, For me, that's in my truth, in my lived experience, King K. Rool was a very memorable, remarkable, impressionable boss figure in my life. King K. Rool was.
You know who is really big for me, actually?
Your father. Physically, like is physically
was G-Man.
Big. Oh, from Half-Life.
Yeah, he was like, that was the first game that I ever played that I remember when you would see him. And then my brother was like, "Yeah, you can't touch him," and you would see him through glass, and you'd be like you'd be so mad, you'd be like, and my brother's like, "Nah, dude, it's not you can't kill him." And I'm like, but he's just right there. Like, you can't. But they used him so perfectly, and they would, like, taunt you with him. Oh, yeah. Gosh, he was good. He was good.
For any of you X-File heads out there, it kind of reminds me of the Smoking Man. You know about the Smoking Man?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, he's kind of an enemy type to Mulder. He's an enemy of the truth. Mulder's trying to find out what's out there, and the Smoking Man is trying to put a veil of smoke in a way. I never thought about that. Never thought about that way.
Look at that.
Wow. He's obscuring things. Literally and metaphorically.
Yeah. Any others? Or any villains in movies? Villains the same thing? Could you use that interchangeably? A villain
You know,
and an enemy?
I was thinking about that. I think
A villain could be somebody that's a villain to you but not your enemy because it doesn't have any personal attachment, right? Like a villain could just be a terrible person.
I'm just gonna look up the definition. Just I'm gonna let Google define my world for me. In a film, novel, or play, a character. See, this is already setting it up as a villain. They're already setting it up so that a villain doesn't even exist in reality. It's a fictional character whose evil actions or motives are important to the plot.
Evil actions or motives.
Villain has less of a personal connotation to me.
Yeah, that's how it feels to me.
It's just kind of like they're kind of for everybody, you know. They're a villain. Oh, they're a villain. You know, they don't care. They don't care about you enough to have a personal thing against you. You're just in their way. You're just a pawn in their plot. And you're either going to be used or discarded or trampled on, you know. Whereas an enemy is like, they're making it personal. You know, they're writing greeting cards with like magazine clippings and getting like locks of your hair to send to you in the mail, and like calling you up late at night and breathing into the phone.
This is getting specific. This happen to you?
That's like what an enemy does. A villain shows up on your television screen, and he's like, "The city's on lockdown." Martial law, dude. If I was a villain, I'd be martial law, and I would.
Oh, that would be your name.
Yeah, it'd be my name.
That'd be corny as shit. Nobody would be scared of you.
No, dude, they would be. Because I'd have an army with me.
They'd bully you out of town. Get out of here, you dork.
Everybody go inside. Now, it's 7 o'clock.
Ew, leave.
Get inside. No jaywalking. I am martial law.
Boo. Get us a better villain.
I'd have a megaphone. My weapon would be like a megaphone, so I could yell louder at people. It'd be really lame. Would be a really ineffective weapon. Whoop whoop whoop! I would just press the alarm button all the time.
No, those things can get loud.
I am martial law. It sounds like a good guy's name, right? Doesn't it kind of sound like a good guy's name? Like there'd be a Western, like martial law on Saturdays at 2.
Nowadays, though, I don't think martial law has the same connotations.
No, it doesn't. Now it's like the government is run by Satanist cabal.
Overreach. Well, I feel good. How do you feel?
Yeah, dude, I feel great about this one. I think it was fun. I think it was creative.
I like testing out our enemy ship towards each other.
Yeah, dude, I didn't mean any of that stuff.
No, I meant every part of it.
Okay, well, yeah, I meant a little bit of mine.
Whoa, I was just joking. What
Me
the
too.
F?
I was kidding also. Yeah, I was.
Oh.
Let's have Cooper be our enemy.
Okay.
Cooper and his newborn. Cooper's a dad, by the way.
Yeah, that might be news to people.
Coop's a dad now, by the way.
Cooper is a dad. Cooper.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd care that. I guess he wouldn't care that we are breaking the news.
It's on his social media, so I mean, if you're.
Yeah, that's true. Isn't it funny that that's kind of like the threshold? So it's
right.
like
Yeah.
You can like
talk
tell
about
other people.
Yeah. It's like, well, you could have just
Not
looked it
till
up.
It's Instagram official.
Don't say anything until he puts it on the gram, and it gets at least 10 likes.
Koopa is a father to a darn cute little kiddo, and
if we kill Coop, his son will grow up to swear vengeance on us.
Swear vengeance, yeah, that would be
we
like
could
a
start.
really
We
good
could
revenge story.
Yeah, we could start a real good one right now.
Okay.
All right. Well, look, before this drags on too much longer, I could before the steam runs out.
Before, do you have anything else to add?
Enemies, they're out there. Careful not to make one, because if you do, you might have an enemy for life. You might get an enemy forever. But in a way, then, you know, you might have an enemy longer than you have friends, because friends come and go. You know, friends kind of come in and out of your life. An enemy, you could stick around, you know, for a long time. And then what's cool is one of you's got to show up at the other's funeral. And that to me is like special. That's like kind of, I think I see that as like a nice thing.
Wait, is that a thing? Like, do you feel like that's in the enemy handbook? Is that's like when your enemy dies, you have to go to their funeral as like?
It's just poetic. It's just poetic to me. You know.
What's poetic about it? Like I've won.
I mean,
like
if you,
like
I don't, dude. If you can't, if you can't find the poetry in that, I can't explain it to you.
I guess I can. But you didn't
Can
say
you
that
just-
they killed him.
No one killed anybody. They were just a thorn in each other's side their entire lives. You know. Sorry, maybe I don't know if that made it confusing. Neither of them killed the other. They just, for their entire existence, they were just constant pain in the other one's ass.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, in a real way, they really hated each other. But then one of them passes and the other goes to the funeral, and it's just kind of like, you know, like they gave me purpose. Every day I woke up hating them, wanting to outdo them, and that's the type of enemy ship where they needed each other. They motivated each other to always do better.
Are we making a weird case for being enemies with people on this?
I think
gonna
there's
walk away from this and be like, oh, I'm gonna go find myself an enemy.
Yeah, dude. I think like there's a kind of like a platonic enemy. Where like way down deep under the layers of like real hatred and real life consequences and real like wishing this person was dead, like way down at the bottom is like, I need them. Like I want them to do this.
Yeah.
You would never say it out loud. Yeah.
About it. All right, buddy.
All right, enemy.
Frenemy.
See an enemy. My little see an enemy.
Well, dude, it's been real.
Yeah, real fun. Real. It's been real droll.
I gotta get to bed.
Yeah, dude,
All
go
this
to
enemy
sleep.
talk has got me. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
Pleasant nightmares to you.
We'll see, dude. The dreams will tell. If I have dreams about you, like coming
And like a
for me,
Phantom of the Opera mask. Yeah.
We're gonna have to have a talk.
Yeah, let me know. Hit me up. Call me up tomorrow.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. This has been Fonecallz Enemies Edition. I'm Aaron.
I'm Vinny. Goodbye.
Toodles.
It's Fonecallz.